Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new here. In today's video we're going to be talking about which great ones are the easiest to get in Call of the Wild. So I've grinded for every great one in the game, but I've only managed to get 4 of them so far, so I will start with the one I think is the easiest and then end with the one that is hardest, and comment below which great one you think is the most difficult to grind. Okay, so we're going to start with a fallow deer. In my opinion, fallow deer is the easiest great one in the game, and there's also a few reasons for this. First of all, on Te Awaroa, they only drink around 40 zones, so it is not difficult to find them all. They also drink at only 3 or 4 lakes, with the rest being on the river, and usually I don't like hunting on rivers, but the river on Te Awaroa is extremely big and open, so it's pretty easy to see everything and make sure you're not going to spook things when you're going around corners. This also means it's pretty easy to do herd management because there's only 40 zones. Another reason I think fallow are the easiest is because most of the time it doesn't take as many kills as some of the other great ones to get a great one, but this is also a lot down to luck. The next 6 great ones I talk about will not be in order of difficulty, but I will say if they're difficult or easy, and the final one will be the most difficult one. So next we're going to go to red deer, which in my opinion, red deer are an easy great one to grind, especially on Te Awaroa. Red deer was the first grind I'd done, so it did take slightly longer because I was still learning, things, still making mistakes, but I managed to get it. I think about 1,000 kills it was. And I think they're pretty easy because using herd management, you can get it down to about 5 or 6 lakes that you're shooting, just going around about 5 or 6 lakes. And generally Te Awaroa is a good map, so it's pretty nice lakes to shoot. And they drink in the daytime, so you're not having visibility issues. Unlike the next one, the red fox. Now, red fox is probably the one I know the least about. I've barely grinded for them because of the nighttime hunting. Really cannot hunt at night. I do not like it. Yeah, I only hunted them for a small amount of time before I switched to the pheasants. They can be grinded pretty quickly using the island method on Salsweedon Park, but for me, the nighttime just made it a hard, great one to grind. And also it looks like it takes a lot more to spawn one, and you have to shoot females and males, and it just makes it quite a bit more difficult. So next we're going to move on to the moose. They can be found on many maps, but the 2 maps which I have experienced grinding moose is Reventuli Coast and New England. And a difficulty with most of the maps with moose is they're found on every bit of water on the map. I mean, New England, there's over 200 zones that you can find them on. And it just makes it really difficult to get started because you have to find every zone. If you accidentally delete a zone, you have to go back round and find all the zones and make sure you're not missing zones. And it's easy to miss zones. So I'm going to say the moose is a difficult great one to grind. Definitely not one for a first time great one grind. And next we're going to move on to the pheasant. My opinion, pheasant is one of the easiest grinds that you can do. I mean, first of all, you don't have to find every zone. Just find zones that you like to hunt, that are good for hunting, have good pheasants in them, and shoot them. Go around, shoot them. And if you're not worried about getting the score and the full money on every single pheasant, just shoot them with 300 Magnum. They'll die as long as you hit them, and it's really easy to hit them with 300 from a long distance because when the pheasant first came out, it was really easy because you just ran out the tent with a shotgun right on the zone. Had the tent on the zone, you ran out of the tent and shot them while they were just standing there panicking. Then they updated it so as soon as you come out the tent, they're flying, so you have to be a bit further back. So unless you want to spend ages sneaking up, just shoot them from a distance with a 300. Next, we're going to talk about the black bear. Now, the black bear grind for me was the craziest grind that I ever done, and it really isn't representative of what would happen if you started grinding them yourself. Because I was lucky enough to spawn the great one after just 2 days of grinding, under 150 kills. But even without that crazy luck, I think the grind would still be pretty easy, especially on Silver Ridge Peaks, because the way you set it up on there, or the way I did, is you're just shooting 4 or maybe 5 lakes that are all right next to each other. Don't need to find all the zones, just those 4 or 5 lakes, and it's incredibly easy. Now, the second last one we talk about before we go to the difficult one, the most difficult one, the white-tailed deer. And whitetail's the only other species which I really haven't grinded that much. But I have grinded it. And I think it's easy. You can kill lots really quickly, and if you use herd management, you can really get the grind down to just a few lakes. So it's really not too difficult. I think they spawn decently. It doesn't take like 10,000 kills that often, as some do. And now before we move on to the most difficult great one, like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content and you want to see more. Now we are going to move on to what I believe is the most difficult great one to grind for in the Hunter Call in the Wild, and that is the tar. Now, I tried to tar grind and I just couldn't. It was really the only grind other than the red fox. I really just could not do it. And there's a lot of reasons for this. First of all, the obvious one, no drink zones. It's fine for pheasants, the no drink zones, but when you go to tar, up in the mountains and forests in Sundarpatan, it's really difficult to find every zone in that mountainy area. You have no clue where they could be, and you need to ideally find most or all of the zones. It's also hard because you have to place your tent pretty far away, and with all the trees, forests, mountains, hills, it can get to the point where to have your tent far away enough, you're no longer anywhere near your zone, and it's really difficult to access a good point to shoot your zone unless you're right on the zone. And also the tar can take a while, a long amount of kills to actually spawn the great one. I mean, as can any of them, but this one just seems to take especially long all the time. So, yeah, that's basically my rundown. Leave it in the comments if you have any other opinions. But thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.